cobra landed near the town. Thought it was an apex, but nobody was around. So I got back to my duties, then I walked into the lab. Thought I saw the Reaper leaping madly in the black. If this is my time, then I'm ready. Is this the day that I die? Scanner, maybe more. So I checked back on my data and headed to the hab. Had a drink, stood by the table, and felt a gun stuck in my back. If this is my time, then I'm ready. Is this the day? Was it Vasquez from the other settlement? Just wiped me once on Tinder, didn't return her calls. I was busy refining stuff, didn't think it would matter at all. But I know she had a temper, orders for a gun. Know that murder hobos now, leaving around and having their fun. Come on. Falls the curtain. Here comes the curtain.
Are you struggling with paying fines? Do you lose sleep in hyperspace worrying about docking at the next space station? If the answer is yes, then you need to call Cowell & McGrath Fine Management Services.
I got scanned while in Federation space and was caught carrying slaves. It was an unexpected expense that I couldn't afford on top of my fines for damage caused whilst docking.
We can help you consolidate all your existing fines into a single large fine, payable in regular instalments at what is almost a competitive interest rate.
I called Cowell & McGrath Fine Management Services, and they helped me pay my existing fines before I got a bounty on my head. They really saved my life.
At Cowell & McGrath, we've helped thousands of pilots whose fines had spiralled out of control.
I dared not go near a police star system. Got so desperate that I'd almost resigned myself to a life of piracy. Luckily, I found Cowell & McGrath Services before I actually murdered anyone in cold blood.
No fines too big, no criminal record too damning. We're here to help you, no questions asked. Find us in the Lave business directory.
I'd got into debt as a result of a massive counter lawsuit by Watt and Prittney. It happened because I'd taken advice on pipe and protection insurance from... Wait a minute! It was you!
Cowell & McGrath. Minimum liability, zero accountability. Warning, balances may go up as well as down. Missed payments may lead to repossession of your ship, seizure of cargo, or the issuing of a death warrant.
There's bargains at Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium haven't just been slicing carcasses, but also slicing their prices. All unspecified meat sausages now 2 for the price of 1. A pack of assorted meat steaks, now with 50% more meat at half the price. How about chops? Our surprising meat chops now also 50% off. And introducing our massive meat hamper. It's a family of 4. No, No, that should say feeds a family of 4, right?
Stick to the script, Claire. It says it's a family of 4.
Okay, I'll stick to the script.
Yeah, you do that.
It's a family of 4. Etty and Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Find us in the Lave business directory or visit us next to the station mortuary. Etty and Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. You'll wonder how our prices are so low.
Lave Radio, transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from a current Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 529 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite Dangerous and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, otherwise known as Cullen Ford, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, and joining me in the orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we have our Head of Health and Safety, Commander Ed Levice, otherwise known as Ben Moss Woodward.
Blank you can't do. I won't do what you tell me or whatever it is.
Isn't it blank you, I won't tidy my room up?
Well, no, I'll keep my room tidy because I'm in my room.
Okay. We've got our SRV Banksy, that's Commander Alec Turner.
I'm not going to rage against the machine. Evening up.
And we have our Staff Liaison Officer, Commander Psychic, otherwise known as Claire.
Hi, pals.
Yeah. So if you wish, you can join us live. The Chris Mark IV is going through, I think he's having the zoomies. It's the best way to describe it. They're having the zoomies as they run around Lave Station. So if you want to join him until he tires himself out, then yeah, go join him. But if you can't get to us in game, you can join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, or go straight to twitch.tv/laveradio or YouTube. We're there for both of them. So let's have a quick talk with the team, see what they've been up to this week. We'll start with Commander Psychic.
Hello. What have I been up to this week? I've got gammy hands at the moment. So stuff I tried doing the Bucky. And I got decent times that would have put me 10th. On like both leaderboards would have put me around 10th position. And then I instead of submitting an entry form, I had a nap instead, and then I forgot all about it. I'm so sorry, Alec. I just went to sleep.
I am aware that people do the race but don't submit.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. But it was a very, very fun race. I should add, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself muchly. Yeah, it was to the detriment. Like I was like, oh, I can do one more, and I was like, oh, my hands were not happy with me by the end of it. So yeah, I've been having a little bit of problems with hands, mainly because my husband decided we were going to buy some new furniture for outside, so some new garden furniture, so a nicer unit, because it's been really bloody lovely, hasn't it? It's been really nice. The weather's been great. So we decided we were going to put a more concentrated effort in getting rid of some of the furniture that over the last couple of years we've kind of abandoned because the weather was so bad, and actually get the furniture that is more suited for us. So I found this corner sofa unit which would look lovely on our patio, really, really nice. And the descriptions came, it all slots together, it all slots and clicks together.
You fell for that.
No screws required. It had 68 screws, and they were difficult screws, and they were really fiddly, and it was really difficult. So unfortunately, in like the 3 hours it took us to put it together on the Sunday, during that time, I maybe overexerted what I should be doing with my hands. So now every day is how much can I do rather than how much am I actually physically capable of doing, and being aware of the own stuff. But it's gone up, and it's bloody lovely, and it's really nice just being sat out there. So I'm super happy with how it looks and all of that thing. It's just it was just a bit of a pain, and it was just a bit of a pain on my hands as well, because also we were in the shop, and the shop also had Lego, so we bought some Chris bought some nice Lego pieces, and the nice Lego pieces that I really like are the ones that are flowers, and they're really intricate and fiddly as well. But I like making them because it's good, like hand-eye coordination, good exercise for my hands for like the intricate things. So I'd done 2 flower things before putting this together, so it was just like hand workout upon hand workout upon hand workout. And it came to Monday, and I woke up and I was like, why can't I move my thumbs? So,
Oh dear.
so that was about it. But on the plus side, I know what I've done, and it's not like the end of that. But and I know just to be careful, and it'll sort itself out eventually. But it's been tricky. The last couple of days have been tricky. What have I done in game? Just buckyball, mainly buckyball, and being on the preview server and having a look at the Corsair, which I'm sure we will talk about later. Out of game, in other games I've been playing some Baldur's Gate with Kremen, which has been fun. I played a little bit of Marvel Rivals, but then my hands started cramping up, so I couldn't do that. I'm just chilling. It's really nice, and my graphics card is great. Oh, there's an expedition in No Man's Sky as well, which is the Relics expedition, where you get to put loads of bone structures together and create skeletons, and you can make really funny looking skeletons, and it's really it's really dumb, and you can make silly things look silly. And it makes me laugh on a very childish level, with like these little dangling limbs that are just back from main limbs. And then when you read the blurb, it's like, it couldn't move on its limbs, so it just slithers around on the ground. And I like the little touches that it's done. It's quite a fun update. But No Man's Sky has an update again, and it's great. That's a broken record in what it is as well. But yeah, that's been my week.
Yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Bone.
Yeah, I've got a sound reward on my stream, which is Captain Holt just saying bone in that thing, and that may have been triggered once or twice over
a little bit too much now, is it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay then,
Alec, how have you been?
I've been all right. I've been coping with my sluggish old PC. What I got down from the attic. It's a bit annoying because it can't. I'm sure it's got worse. I can't explain this. I can only assume that the updates that have happened to Elite in the last year since I had my new PC have just made it perform even worse than it used to. Because I can no longer run
because your
Elite.
PC is listening to you and it hears you bad talking about it.
Yeah, it's probably sad. Sad. It's been in the attic for a year. It's feeling unloved.
Face on with you.
Yeah, it probably has. But I can't run ED Copilot at the same time. It just tends to crash spontaneously reboots or just freezes, and I have to hard reset the thing, so it's a bit annoying, which means I can't make or do time trials, but hey ho. Otherwise, what's my week been like? It's been all right. My PC is currently with PC Specialist, but they have a bit of a backlog, so it's just waiting its turn. I had 24 hours in the house to myself, which was quite fun. I would have done an Elite binge, but I didn't really feel like it with them, with the less than ideal graphics. So I rewatched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Tarantino film, because I listened to this podcast I really enjoy called All the Right Movies, did an in-depth on it, and it was interesting to watch it again with a better understanding of what I was watching and some of the effort that had gone into some of the shots. And it's a really good film, actually. I really like it a lot. And I had pizza and beer, and then I went out the next morning for I drove half a mile to half an hour for this really nice farm out in the country that does really good breakfasts. So yeah, it's a nice sort of start to the weekend. In game, I've been doing a lot of buckyball, a bit of participating. I did allow myself to participate, but excluded myself from the podium. And quite a lot of leaderboard updates, just maintaining the entries and then doing little posts every day to let people know the latest scores. So we'll have more on that later. And lastly, I went back to colonization. So I wanted to make a space farm because it made sense. I knew I was running out of tier 1 points, and so it made sense. So I plonked down a space farm, and I've had the thing where the damn colonization platform has ended up traveling at 450 meters a second.
Oh.
Oh no.
Which turns out to be tantalizingly irritating because I can keep up with it at full speed in my cutter just about, and definitely in my Mandalay. And with flight assist off, I can even keep up with it and basically leave myself flight assist off, drifting right over a landing pad. But the minute I deploy landing gear, the station shoots away from me because landing gear slows you down.
Slam you in the face.
Yeah, so I just can't land on it. And it seemed like an awesome challenge. So the first thing that happened is I spent a long time trying to land on it in a shieldless cutter that was carrying 700 tons of steel and eventually blew up, which annoyed me greatly. Then I went back in my Mandalay to do it. I thought it might be a fun landing challenge, but I just think because of the landing gear thing, you just can't do it. I guess I'd challenge anyone else, but it doesn't seem possible.
Is this an issue that Frontier have recognised and are dealing with?
Well, I know other people have had it. I submitted a ticket because it seemed like please can you fix this station rather than I don't know. But I don't expect to hear much. Anyway, the next day I came back and I built what did I do? Oh yes, I put down a surface manufacturing plant, and I decided to go ahead and do my 200. I retested the minimum distance, and it is still 200 kilometers. So I plonked down a manufacturing facility 200 kilometers from my mining base that is in amongst a load of lava spouts and things. And then I tried to race it in the SRV, and I mean, I gave up halfway. I could have done it, but 200 kilometers is absolutely too far, which is a bit disappointing. The only good thing from that is I did start rolling names because I couldn't be bothered to name this one, and it eventually came up with Bot Manufacturing Facility, which amused me quite a lot.
Like
so
that
I have
a
a
lot.
bot manufacturing facility.
And it is a factory, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Well, there
Well,
you
it
go
will be
then.
when I finish it. Yeah, it'll be perfect when it's finished.
Are you still there? No? Yeah.
Excellent.
I don't
Okay,
hate
then Ben.
I've had a busy week with real life and a shitty week in gamey things.
Oh.
Not shitty, just like too busy with real life to do gamey things. I did manage to finally finish the main storyline of Horizon Forbidden West.
Right.
And I have to think I prefer Horizon Forbidden West over the first one, over Zero Dawn. It feels bigger, though I might be wrong.
I think it is a bigger game.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's bigger, but I don't know if it is or not. And I think I actually preferred it over Zero Dawn, and I did enjoy Zero Dawn. And of course now I'm waiting for, this has to be a trilogy, and I'm assuming there's going to be a third one. Or at least I hope there is. After I don't know how Gorilla's doing these days.
Yeah. But surely that's such a hot property that,
Well, it wouldn't be the same though if it's developed by Blizzard or something.
Yeah, true. Admittedly, look at Halo when it went bungulous.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's maybe, but maybe not. We'll see. Haven't had managed to watch the films. Haven't really. I'm watching Invincible, but that's not. I don't think that's a new season of that type. So yeah, I've been watching Invincible, but not a lot of that. And what was it? And yeah, everything else has basically been real life and busy.
Yeah. Yes, well, I had to take last week off due to family business, which is ongoing, which is going to drag out, and it's distinctly unpleasant, which is, yeah, not great. But apart from that, let's see. I've done a little bit more on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm now almost up to chapter 11 there, where apparently, I mean, it's the game, apart from slowing down at the Golden Saucer bit, has really picked up again, and yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Let's see what else. I've been listening to a lot of that Babylon 5 podcast, so much so I ended up getting JMS's autobiography. So yeah, I've had to listen to that. And
Have you? How much of that have you listened to? Because that is a harrowing tale.
I'm up to the bit where Babylon 5 has just stopped.
Okay, yeah.
And he's about to do Spider-Man, but yeah, I'm. There are times you have trouble with this, with your own family, and think, oh, all of a sudden, that's nothing.
Yes.
That's absolutely nothing. Yeah, but
Yes.
so I'll be listening to that, and yeah, I have come to the conclusion that they did steal Babylon 5, and yeah, let's see what else. Oh, in Elite itself, well, I've been flying around with a little bit of the Corsair, which we'll probably talk about upcoming, and also I've decided that my colonization, I'm starting to work on one of the things, and I just went, oh, that's too big, I can't phase it, and went off and played a lot of power play, quite a lot of power play, in fact, and yeah, so that's been me just flying for the Emperor and just chilling in space, which is always good. So let's go through the development news. Well, today's a special day. Yes, April the 8th, we've got an update today. It took me an absolute age to download these things, as per usual, but once it's there, seems to be running, seems to be stable, no complaints so far. We've had a couple of things that have happened over the weekend, however. Apparently, they're aware that there were some issues with facilities and system colonization economics during the weekend. There was an error and not an intentional change, which has been reverted. We are committed to looking at improvements and potential changes to the way facilities and the economy works in regards to system colonization, as well as how we can improve documentation. They've got documentation?
Yeah, that was my reaction to that comment too.
Yeah, where possible, we will endeavour to share economic and facility changes in update notes. We thank you for your continued patience and feedback during this colonization beta. Paul later clarified, because I'm assuming this was by Paul on the forums, it may take up to 2 weeks for the changes to be fully reverted. The current theory is that the thing that got rolled back might be planets randomly generating their own economy and blatting over their own economic market growth attempts. So yeah, it sounds like there's a whole load of background stuff happening at the moment. Yes, and I do feel for Davstot and the live team when they're dealing with this kind of stuff. So yeah, was anybody affected by this?
No, I think so. Meccan had made a video which I hadn't watched. I can't remember what the tagline was. Colonization is completely bricked, or something like that.
Oh yeah. Okay, fair
And
enough.
and then after this he made a subsequent sort of retraction video. I think I think the deal is that different planet types were starting to inject a sort of a bias into the economy. So, like, if you had a rocky, volcanic planet, then it tended to sort of bias industry off the bat. And if you had a planet, an atmospheric planet with organics, then it tended to push sort of whatever the more organic economies are. And then poor old Mechan's desperately trying to play catch up, and sort of, he's sort of
Is that why there's so much methane gas production?
yeah, probably. He's trying to understand, a system of moving goalposts. Anyway, this turns out not to have been a stealth fix, but just a bug, possibly indicative of ways they're thinking of fixing the problem of stations not being able to have an economy if they don't have any.
And it's or anything like that underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we still haven't worked out whether or not it's a planet or whether or not there's other facilities in the same orbit as that planet.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
I
It's all
know.
weird. Yeah, I know. I know Chris was really affected by it. He was a bit pissed off about it going because he was expecting something to happen, and then he was like, oh, I think there's a stealth change or something along those lines, and he's now saying that it's a planet as well. So I don't know.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, it's nice to have a little bit of clarification in that, because it was confusing. They sort of said whether or not they weren't clear whether or not it was the orbital on top of the planet, plus also whatever else had been set up on the planet's orbit. So
I don't know that it's well defined, and I think they're kind of experimenting. I mean, we're still under the beta tag at the moment, and I think they're sort of.
Yeah, I suppose that's.
When does that become an excuse?
When does it become an
What do you mean?
excuse?
Well, you're saying they're still under the beta tag. Shouldn't they have had this all designed out to begin with?
Well, they do, but what they're doing is they're moving things and making decisions. So if they say something is near to something, they don't then have to then go back into the documentation and change it to it being exactly within that amount. Do you know what I mean? If you go,
but there's a massive difference between something that's in the same system. Yeah, that's why I'm wondering, is it an excuse? Because we still don't know. Is it in the system? Is it in the planet? Is it in the planet and the moon? We don't know.
We don't really know. It's obviously pure speculation on my part that they're experimenting and that they haven't got a solid plan and they're just tweaking numbers. I don't know. Maybe they're tweaking numbers, or maybe they literally didn't think of some of these complexities and have watched the players and gone, oh shit, yeah, quick, think of something. I don't know. I don't know what level they're at.
I think what they've worked out is they've worked out the mechanics of how to, the hierarchy of how to actually build things to get up to the stations that you want. I don't think they've worked out 100% how the economy works. So that's the figures that are shifting, but the actual stuff that for creating the stations, you need certain amounts of tier 1s before you get tier 2s. I think they're happy with that. It's just yeah.
I'd hope they're better than this, but obviously one of the things you tend to do when you're developing stuff is you tend to build the things that you're designing it for. So you tend to build economies that work, and then you test your code and you go, yeah, it works. But what you kind of need players to do is to build upside down systems and do things the wrong way, and build the big stuff and then the small stuff, and build stuff that doesn't have anything underneath it. And you tend to build ideal cases when you're testing software, I suppose.
Yeah, but if Frontier had given us some documentation saying, here's a suggested idea, or for that matter, if Frontier had followed the same presumed rules that they had for their existing stations and how those stations get their markets.
Yeah, but I don't think that
It's
would work in the same way unless
mm,
you just say, okay, let the user select the market. I'm glad they didn't do that.
No, but
I feel
shouldn't the market be based on let the user build the farm, which is what we think it is?
but the issue with that, Ben, is it is possible that Stellar Forge has limitations on where it can place things that the players don't. Do you know what I mean? So the Stellar
Mhm.
Forge might only be able to build systems that work, whereas we can put, we've got all these different
Yeah.
slots, and you can put anything in any of the slots, and so maybe we're building
Yeah,
things that
I mean, I'm thinking like for example, Lave Station. It's around a
yeah.
planet that we cannot modify ourselves through the architecture stuff. Yes.
yeah, but it is an Earth-like world, which is
Yeah.
automatically a big plus for agriculture.
Yeah. But that does that carry over into so if you built your planet around an Earth like your station, sorry, around an Earth like world, would it then most likely at least be an agricultural station?
Well, under the current rules, no. Which is ironic, really, when you think about it.
Well, yeah.
But then again, I don't think anybody's actually managed to start building around an Earth-like world, have they?
Well, they must have done.
What do you mean? What, building a station around
around
it?
an Earth-like
And there
world.
must be. There absolutely there must be. There's no way they couldn't. They couldn't. I know mine isn't, but there certainly must be. So I know you're taught and quite a lot of people have said this, that they want a straightforward, if you want to build this, this is exactly what you need, and I want that documentation in front of me so I can build it as to make it the perfect system to fill in these particular roles and all of that. Now, I totally get that. I totally get why you would like that. But as a long-time BGS player, and knowing how Frontier like to change things, and we just have to learn it on the fly and figure out how to deal with stuff like that on the fly. I can see why they've given it to us in this playground and been like, for the most part, you're having to work out a lot of this stuff. Follow up to that, the difference between the two is that if I fuck up something in the BGS, I can do a following day and I can play with some influences, I can move some shit around, and it will be I can rectify what I've done. If I put a station in a place or a building on a planet, and then I realize later that isn't ideal or that's not going to contribute, I can't go, oh fuck, I need to remove that now.
Yeah.
Or I can remove that, or I can try and change the economy. And that is from my perspective, where it's flawed, not that we don't have the exact documentation for it. I'd love an undo button. How they would be able to implement that, because of the vast amount of materials, is wild.
Is there some kind of sunk cost that you need to think about or be worried about or something?
No.
What time?
Yeah, you spent however many hours doing this, and I don't want to say it's wasted, but it feels wasted. So from listening to you guys, it feels like you feel it's wasted.
I don't feel like it's wasted.
Okay.
Well, I know that when I was using the planning tool that Alex highlighted a lot, and I must admit I've now got an idea of what I want. But if, like Psychic says, I'd gone and put a couple of, well, I've actually already put a couple of things down on a planet that I didn't want to do. I can't take them back now, but I've started with that. I'm working with it to try and still mold my system into how I want my system. But the issue is I would love an undo button as well.
I think if you delivered however many thousands of units of cargo it takes to build an Orbis, and then it turned out to be in the wrong place and not do what you expected, I I think you would be
I
quite
think you'd be pretty pissed off. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Even if they do supply, well, first of all, the as far as the undo is concerned, is that I wouldn't mind an undo button for the construction facilities because, yeah, you'd probably be halfway there going, oh no, I don't want to be doing this. So that would save you from spending a lot more time completely building a new system that's going to be useless. And of course, then once it's built, then you think, well, I need to get rid of it now because I need to do this something else. So you need undo button. And from what they've said is that, if they do supply an undo button, that's it. All your hauling and all the materials that you've used has just been wasted. So yeah, it's kind of like a no-win situation
Yeah,
there.
it's difficult. It's difficult, and I understand from the perspective of I understand both perspectives. So the BGS player and the player who's like, I just want my system exactly where I am, and I want it to be perfect first time. And I get it when you find this perfect system, and you're like, oh, this is the one that I've got my what Alec was saying when we were talking about getting it originally, and Alec was like, I'm not going to tell anyone where the system is that I want. I've got my eye on this perfect system, and now if it doesn't do what you want it to do, and you've put that effort into it, there's going to be that element of disappointment that you can't change it or anything along those lines. But also the BGS player in me is like, yeah, well, that's great, and it's a real it's not a very comfortable place to be, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, this is an interesting point. I mean, would you prefer a change option? So, say for instance, you've got an installation on the planet. That's that's a mining installation. You think, no, that needed really to be a refinery. If they said, right, okay, I'd like to change that to the refinery, and they would give you a difference in materials, so the construction yard would reappear, and you just had to top up the amounts.
I tell you what I tell you what I'd really like a deconstruct option. So like,
but where do the commodities go?
They sit into a one of those thingies next door. It turns it into a building site basically.
And at the building site, you've got
the building site. You can pick up all of the commodities that you went. So you do still have to put the groundwork in if you fucked up. But also you have that opportunity to then move it somewhere else or put something else somewhere else. Maybe is that a happy medium?
Yep.
Yeah, and so it kind of dismantles the thing you didn't want, but you can
move the items
or some proportion of those commodities to a new construction site.
And then if you're like, hey, actually, this new one doesn't need all of the beer and the food that I put in this tourism spot, it needs different things instead. You can go, oh, hey, I'm hemorrhaging stuff. And I can give you, and you can go and get this stuff from me and pay a premium, and then also that's a justification for brewers staying in business as well.
I could happily lose that, like the extras that I can't.
Yeah.
Like you say, if I've got loads of beer and I decide I don't want a bar, I want a space farm, and the space farm doesn't need any beer, I would happily lose the beer, write it off, and go, oh well. As long as
maybe you get the option then.
As long as the steel and the aluminium and
you can tell you're not Scottish being happy to lose the beer.
It's digital.
Even as I was saying it, I was thinking, what am I saying?
It's all right. It's digital beer. It doesn't count. It only gets you digitally drunk.
Right. Well, moving on from there.
I just had a pie in the sky thought that, and I know it's never going to happen, but I'm just thinking, would you like it if, because we know this information's at least sort of in the game when they did the whole. Remember Dr. K's talk when they're forming Odyssey about how she knows what the planets are made of and where it's made and things like that, and that's how we got the whole. That's how all the areas are made and why they look the way they look and things like that. And I'm just thinking, surely that says this area here would be good for mineral extraction. This area here would be good for farmland. This area here would be good for
Yeah,
a
I'd like to see
tourist
that.
thing. And
Sure.
and I'm just thinking, as you move your, I'm thinking
just
a
like a
bit like
tooltip kind of
RimWorld.
thing.
Oh, I'm thinking a bit like RimWorld, where you move, you select where you're building your colony, and it's like, this is the stuff in this area,
Mm-hmm.
and it'd be like, this would be an ideal place for this kind of facility.
Yeah, no, I like that because when you're placing planetary stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment it's a purely cosmetic choice and it's quite a fun one, but you could literally plonk it anywhere on the planet. It makes no odds whatsoever apart from what it looks
So
like.
you
whether
could make a farm in the middle of the desert kind of
It'd be
idea.
quite nice
and
if there
so
was
on.
more to it than that, and where you put it. If you stick it in the middle of a bit that's all white, then there's no minerals there, and if you stick it in a bit that's a nice sort of rusty, orangey red color, then it's going to get that'd be cool
Lots of
for
minerals.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, as I said, it was a pie in the sky thought, never going to happen, but
Yeah,
hey,
I mean,
I can dream, can't I?
I know what you're saying. The thing is, I don't think they've actually gone down to that level of granularity where they've worked out that you'll find more minerals at this particular part. They've done it with plants because certain plants only appear at certain places.
Well, this is why I'm thinking they have to have some of that information.
I know what Ben means because Kay did hint that stuff was driving the planet tech, but we haven't seen much sign of it apart from that. So I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I do know that in some places where you are driving about and you're shooting rocks up to scoop for materials, there are good places to find rocks and there are bad places to find rocks.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where it's still based around, but yeah, I know what you mean. But the idea that we could do that, well, yeah, you're quite right.
And that's why I'm
It'd
saying
be a
it's
lot
pie
of
in the
work.
sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. So yeah, an undo button move facility would be quite nice. Please take note, Frontier. Anyway, right. Moving on from that, the Beaky, the Gutamaya Corsair was released today. There's been a heck of a lot of updates. There's been a couple of features which are being tested out even as we speak around Lave Station itself. Commanders no longer get tired when running around the station. Yes, I think that seems to be the high point for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that means you can disembark from your Anaconda and walk all the way to the lift without running out of steam, which is probably the main motivation for
That's
fixing it.
where I always notice it. Like you're running to your ship.
Running.
Like, I need a minute. Hang on, guys.
Running from my cutter and getting out of breath halfway through. I don't want this game to emulate real life. Thank you very much.
No, not to that level.
Yeah, so at the moment, there are people running around Lave Station, doing their best Marathon Man impersonation. So yeah, that's good enough. But yes, we've got the actual, as everybody calling it, the Gutamaya Beaky. Now we've had a little experiment with it for the last week or so, thanks to the preview program. So let's go around the crew. Ben, have you flown it?
I am flying it as we speak.
Yes. So we'll start with you, as this is the first time you've flown it, right?
I flew it. I think it was as you said, we had it a bit last week, and I did try it a little bit last week, and my initial impressions were, I don't like how this thing flies. I really, and after flying the Cobra, after flying like Cobra's crates and the Mandalay,
yeah,
she felt really sluggish.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've taken, and this is not what I was expecting, given the fact she's got a size 7 chuffing great big freaking engine on her.
Yes.
But I was surprised how sluggish she was feeling. You then suggested, have you tried engineering? And I was like, no, I haven't, because time basically and things, and I don't have all the things and stuff. But I did try that, and I was like, yeah, okay, that makes it more tolerable to fly. So I've now in the live game, I went off and I've engineered her again, and I'm trying it out and seeing what I think. I haven't tried it with combat yet or anything like that. I'm just seeing how I enjoy flying her at the moment, because if it's not a ship I enjoy flying, I'm not going to fly it, even if it is the best whatever vessel in game.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I'm hesitant to go to the next person here because I've got a suspicion. Yes, Psychic.
To me, is that why you were hesitant?
You.
Okay. It's okay, right. I have thoughts. So I really don't think it flies particularly well. I have engineered it.
Mm-hmm.
I did engineer it. I engineered it fully because we get on the preview server we have the absolute joy of being given like a shit ton of materials, and I already have them the bits that I needed pinned, so it's not a problem. I could just go in and engineer it straight away. I flew it a tiny bit without. It flies like ass in Super Cruise. Literally flies like ass in Super Cruise. It only goes well in a straight line in Super Cruise Overcharge. As soon as you want to turn it, it's sluggish and unresponsive. Flying and hooning around a planet, it looks nice, but I think its speed is comparable to an Asp Explorer, and I've flown a courier a lot, and because I'm in the courier cockpit flying this big ship, I'm underestimating its size, so I was knocking it quite a bit. Yeah. And that I think is kind of understandable. And when I started playing Elite back in the day, back in sepia tone days, when I started playing Elite Dangerous, and I started enjoying.
If you played sepia tone, what the hell were Colin and I playing?
Black and white, mate. But when I started playing Elite Dangerous, I was told categorically that the only ship that I would need to get would be a Python. So I went hard, and I got this Python, and then I did fall in love with the BGS, and I spent probably 2-3 years pretty much solely in a Python, and I've done my Python time.
It sounds like a sentence.
It feels like a sentence when I've been spoiled with a Mandalay and a Type 8 and a Cobra Mark 5. It feels like a sentence. Getting into the Corsair felt like I was flying a Python again. The Corsair, in my opinion, should be called the Python Mark II, and the Python Mark II should be the Corsair. And I think if you buy the Corsair with real money as a starter ship, you will find yourself disappointed as a new player, and those are my concerns about it. I also think it looks like a penguin from underneath. And not even a pink skin can save it. Maybe the blue and silver one, which is also on the store, but I'm not holding out any hope for that as of yet. But that is my opinion, and that's as honest as I can be. It's the first ship that I've got. I was expecting to be really, really, really disappointed with it, because I was expecting it to be so much better than everything else. And I was expecting, I talked about it last week, I was expecting a power creep, and this power creep to appear. And I'm disappointed with it, not because it's not as good, or not brilliant that I was expecting. I'm disappointed with it because I worry that people spending money on it will also be disappointed. However, I'm not the boss of you. You spend the money how you want. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make you happy though? Because it now means because we don't have that power creep and things like that, that it's
Yeah, no,
not
that's
a god
great.
ship.
That's great. That it's not everyone has to be in this ship. It is what the Python Mark II should be. It is like on paper. It is ever so slightly better in each thing. The weapon convergence is slightly better than a Python. It's stable in SEO. It should be the Python Mark II. And I don't know. I don't think you'd lose anything by just switching the internals round on both and making the Corsair this second. The Corsair looks like it should be a combat ship, and the Python Mark II looks like it should be this all rounder. Yeah. And visually they would fit in those other roles, in my opinion. And statistically, they should be swapped. Again, in my opinion, but I don't know. It's not going to be one that I fly very often. So at the end of the day, there's plenty of other ships, and you don't have to like everyone because there are so many ships in the game. But I wouldn't spend your money.
And breathe. Excellent.
Yeah. Again, it's just my opinion. By all means, buy the ship and see how you get on. But I was very disappointed with it.
Okay, Alec, have you had a chance to fly it?
No, I haven't tried it. I will do. I mean, I love the look of it, and I guess I will. But I've just been quietly sitting back and listening to everyone else's opinions, and yeah, it does sound disappointing. I must admit. It's difficult when a ship looks nice. You know,
Yeah.
I think you do set a lot of stuff. I remember the Mamba, when the Mamba first came out. I loved the look of that ship, and I really wanted it to kind of be this big, beefy kind of hot rod that, and it just wasn't.
Yeah, I completely agree about the Mamba. I wanted the Mamba to be able to take on a Fer-de-Lance. So you have these two fantastic looking ships able to fight each other, and you couldn't.
Yeah. But I'll give it a go, I'm sure, because I do like the look of it. If nothing else, I'll just... Okay, here's one. If nothing else, I have been semi-unofficially tasked with rolling it down the side of a hill, so maybe I'll do that.
It's not exactly a rolly ship.
It doesn't... I'll tell you for free, the wings don't clip. The wings don't clip into the ground. I definitely hit it.
Cool. Good.
Oh, no, some people have reported the fact it's gone. They're able to clip through the wings, but
no, you can't. That's a lie.
No, it's a bit of the engine cowling or something, isn't it? I think the wings are fine, but somebody said something about a bit of the engine cowling or.
Right. Okay.
Did you try, Colin?
Well, I'm actually in complete agreement. With both of you. I was flying it for a bit, and without it being engineered, I felt it wallowed. It felt sluggish. It felt unresponsive. I wasn't happy with it at all. Of course, once it was engineered, it became closer to what I was hoping for, and yeah, it's not. Like Ben, I'm relieved that it hasn't gone for a power creep, because I must admit, when the Mandalay came out, I was there going, "Oh God, does this mean from now on every ship is going to be slightly better than the last one, and that means everyone gets out of date?" But yeah, it's a case of comparing apples and oranges, really, because the Python Mark II is a fighter, yet the Corsair is a multi-crew. So you compare the multi-crew, what am I about? Multi-role. So if you compare the multi-role to to its equivalent, which is the Python Mark II, it is a better ship. However, I think we were expecting something a little bit more, and maybe we all got a little excited about the looks or the argument over the beak and no beak, and thinking, "Oh, that looks fantastic. I bet you it'll." And the fact they said, "Oh, it's got
I think it's fair to say, because Frontier, in all of their marketing material, have been bigging up that this thing is maneuverable as fuck.
Well, you say that, Ben. I was just reflecting on that. The phrase they kept using was on rails, and it occurs to me that what else is on rails is a locomotive, not known
She's
for
a train.
racing round corners particularly well.
Yeah. Well, that was the. Oh. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty much I'm the same with everybody else. I'm not even happy with. I'm not even happy with the looks. I mean, admittedly, you can get a ship kit which stops the beak, and I am definitely on hashtag no beak.
I took the no beak away from that, and I shoved it into these wings that go above my wings. So now I got wings for my wings or something weird. But I like the beak.
Yeah. So I mean that's it's still good. Ironically, it's still going to be the best multi-role medium ship because it's slightly better than the Python. However, I think the way that Frontier were putting it forward with the you should see the engines on this thing. Everybody was expecting something to go off like poo off a shovel.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's like a muscle car and she can't turn worth a dime, I was at least expect to go like poo off the shovel.
Yeah, and I think
a
that's
particularly well greased shovel at that.
And to tell you the truth, I think that is the reason why I'm disappointed because it didn't go super fast.
Yeah,
and I guess that's.
I mean, she shouldn't be as fast as an asp.
Hey, no, she should be a lot faster.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I mean.
She
should go
should
like
be, yeah,
clappers.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Well, yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, it's the one thing that we should mention is that they put out a trailer for the ship, and I must admit, the trailer looks good, and I do like the cockpit because it's basically based on the Courier, but yeah, apart from that, the thing is,
the decal positioning's weird.
The what positioning is weird?
The side decal positioning is hidden underneath my wings, which I find weird. Yeah, so it's above one wing and then it's underneath another wing, and you can hardly see the darn stuff. Sorry, I'm just looking around the ship and I'm like, that's a weird place for it to be. That's not exactly highlighting what it is.
Yeah. So I hate to say this, just quickly going around the crew. Would you actually buy one? Because would you actually pay ARX for it, or would you wait for it to come to credits? I have to say, for me, as it is, I would wait for credits. What about everyone else?
If I hadn't listened to Lave Radio tonight, I probably would have bought one. But having listened to you lot, I've decided it's trash and I don't want it.
It's still the best multi-role medium ship. I think, yeah. But everyone else.
I think if you have ARX to burn, fucking name some stations, mate.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not convinced I'd even buy it for credits. Yeah, I'm eternally grateful, and thank you so much, Frontier, for letting us try this, even if it is only to tell people, you do you, mate.
Hashtag blame Lave Radio.
I genuinely thought that I would be in the minority. Minority of I thought you were all going to fucking wax lyrical about it. So I'm very surprised that you guys have also ranted. Granted, it's interesting. It's interesting that you share that opinion.
Yeah, the Mandalay flies so much nicer.
What is interesting, and I absolutely trust his opinion, is Burr was very complimentary about it. Not effusive, he wasn't saying it was OP or anything, and he fully acknowledged that it had pros and cons. But he, in his review video, seemed much more complimentary about it. And I don't know if he went in with different expectations, but I do trust Burr's opinion. So it's not universally considered trash.
Mm. Yeah, no, and I've spoke. There's quite a few people who've been like, yeah, I love it. I think it's great. It's definitely going to be taking the place of my Python. And I think if you do fly a Python, still quite regularly. If you do fly a Python 1 quite regularly, you're gonna you'll probably get a lot out of this because it flies just like a Python, and you will enjoy the like the couple of extras. I think it switches a 3 and a 5 like utility slot. If memory serves, I haven't looked at it today, so I don't have the numbers right in front of me. But I think it switches that.
Yeah,
and
I think I asked you that question on streaming. You said
Yeah.
it basically a 3 had moved up to a 5, so
Yeah,
it has
something
more
on those
optional
lines.
internals.
And it's got 3 large and 3 medium hard points rather than the 3 large and 2 medium of the Python. So everything is just sort of like ticking up as far as like it's a Python. It's a proper successor to the Python. So if you do still rely on flying a Python around and you love flying your Python, this is probably the best ship that you could get.
How is she for cargo space compared to the Python?
Well, more presumably
More.
if you choose to outfit it that way.
Yeah, just slightly more. Not as much more as I was expecting, but it is multi-role.
So as I was saying, the 3 optional becomes the 5.
Yeah.
But I would still use a Type 8 rather than a. The Type 8 and a Mandalay switch between the two if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get this. There's no way to put it. I mean, if you need one ship that'll do everything, just not as good as its specialized things, yeah, it'll do the job. But the thing is, they've got the Type 8, which does better cargo for medium. You got the Python 2, which does better fighting. So yeah, it is slightly more heavily armed. I did take it into combat against a couple of Federal gunships because I thought the Federal gunship will probably be its natural enemy. But even then, I found it really difficult to turn and keep it, and even keep it safe. I mean, and that was only against dangerous NPC. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll take an Class A Cobra against that.
Yeah.
It's all right. You don't have to find anything nice to say about it. You won't hurt its feelings.
But it is an Imperial medium ship, which is the first one.
Congratulations, you've got your Imperial medium ship right now. Still doesn't mean that you necessarily have to get it. The courier cockpit is also off-putting. I saw Itolu in the chat was like, Frontier told me last December that they flew the courier more than 98% of commanders. Not sure they want to see that cockpit for a while. And I get that. I feel that wholeheartedly. It's an interesting looking cockpit as well. I don't know.
I know exactly what they mean because I'm sick and tired of the ASP cockpit. Because I think for about
Is does the Corsair's cockpit feel like a scaled up courier cockpit? Because the courier cockpit feels very snug to me.
No, I'd say it does feel scaled up. It does feel scaled up, but not to the degree that you think it is. I completely understand why Psychic was there going, I couldn't. I forgot that I was flying a bigger ship because it feels a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Was I right there?
It's weird. It genuinely is weird. Because I flew the courier since Odyssey dropped. So yeah, it's weird, and then it doesn't turn like a courier. It doesn't do anything like I would expect a courier to do, and it's turning off muscle memory as well. When you talked about combat, then I've seen a lot of people say that I've seen a lot of people. I've seen a few people say I think it will do really well. It will shine with fixed weapons, and as I talked about my hands at the top of the show, I can't use my fixed. I build a ship based on like my accessibility needs as well. So I tend to have beams, a couple of beams, and then the rest multi cannons. So I'm only pressing one of my triggers because that's all that I can do. Otherwise, my hands will seize up. And it just eats a weapons charge. Absolutely eats a weapons charge, and this is fully engineered. But it ate a weapons charge, kind of similar to probably how a Python would. Am I sounding like a broken record at this moment? Because it genuinely feels like it.
Yeah, I think
it's a Python Mark 2, my guy.
I think we are getting a little bit repetitive here. I think the best way to describe it is disappointing.
Mediocre.
Oh. Well, no, if it was I would agree with you if it was mediocre, if it was worse than the Python Mark 1. But yeah, I think I'm disappointed with the straight line speed.
Do you think the ship could also be in a beta period?
No.
No.
No, this is what we get.
Well,
Showtime. We're not angry. We're just disappointed.
Yeah, pretty much. Right. Well, on that disappointing news, I'll hand over to Alec for the community news.
And now to the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
I hope people's expectations aren't high. I'll lead with the disappointing community news as well, shall I? No, it's good. First up,
community news.
First up, we've got Nicey, who's back with another blog. Nicey's kind of been working on trying to describe some of the inner workings of the Stellar Forge. So part 1 of that blog is up now. It's nice. I like how short it is. I like how generally Nicey's blogs are great if you've got just 5 minutes just to have a quick read over your lunch or something. They're really nice bite-sized things. And this is a really good intro to the Stellar Forge. It covers mass, the division of the galaxy into sectors and subsectors and sub-subsectors, and some stuff on nebulae that I didn't actually know. So they've done some good research and dug out all the known facts on how the Stellar Forge works. And there will no doubt be a part 2 at the very least to come, because there's quite a lot to say. But yeah, nice little blog about Stellar Forge from Nicey. The next up is a video which I promised I would shout out last week's show and then completely forgot. It's a video by Orange Phoenix, kind of done as a show promo. So anyone who's watched Orange Phoenix streaming, he has a very unique style. He has an AI which takes control of his ship, and people in chat can basically do all sorts of things to his ship. Anyway, he's created this beautiful trailer. It's got an original song, and it basically just showcases Orange Phoenix's stream channel. It's called Smelly Little Monkey and a Reluctant Rogue AI, and it's very funny, and it's a really nice trailer. I recommend people give it a watch. Next, it's been a long time since I've mentioned this name, but I'm going to shout out a video by Obsidian Ant. Mostly because while the Distant Worlds 3 Shoulder of Orion event has been going on, I haven't actually had much in the way of sort of community videos or posts that I've found to say much about it. But it's something that Obsidian Ant latched onto. He really liked the idea of is really into Distant Worlds 3 generally, and so he's made a whole video about Shoulder of Orion and what it means for the galaxy. And it's not a bad watch. So if you want to know more about Distant Worlds 3 Shoulders of Orion event, then this is a good video about it. Next up is a really nice guide. There are loads of guides around, but it's nice to have a refresher course on things occasionally. Spacefaring Chronicles has made an up-to-date guide on laser mining, and it's really good. It covers absolutely everything from all the modules to where to go to how to do it. I think there may well be a follow-up guide on core mining. Like I say, there have been videos that have covered this before, but if you're looking for a refresher on laser mining, then this is a really good one. It's called Elite Dangerous Odyssey Ultimate Beginner's Guide, Episode 8, Mastering Laser Mining. Right, the next one is something that caught my eye. It was quite long, so I didn't watch it at first, but I sat down and gave it a proper watch today, and I am so glad I did. It's a tutorial by Atlas Rand Gaming called How to Auto Track Your Colonization Builds in Elite Dangerous, the fast, quick, and easy way. And basically, it's a half-hour tutorial on a new feature that's in an app called SRV Survey. I think we have touched on SRV Survey in the past. I confess I haven't used it myself, but I hear really good things about it. SRV Survey was originally created to do two things. One, to track exobiology, as many apps do now, and sort of record where your first and second scans are and what distances you need to travel and all that good stuff. And it also has some pretty sophisticated features to do with kind of finding your way around Guardian sites. Anyway, so you might not immediately think that an app called SRV Survey has much to do with colonization, but I believe there is a campaign to have the app renamed now that it's branching out. But it has some fantastic colonization features. So basically, the only thing you have to do manually, and this may have changed because I believe there's been a journal change today which puts this information out there now. But basically what you do is you fire off the colonization thing. It pops up a little web page. As long as you have visited your construction site, that you've just started, it kind of already knows about it as long as you're running something like ED Market Connector. So it's literally a pick list. You pick the thing you're building. It knows roughly what materials you need, and then you have to manually correct the initial materials. You only have to do that once, and then it remembers all of that. And then after that, it knows what you've got in your fleet carrier. So it immediately can color all the things that you've already got enough of in your fleet carrier, whether it's green you've got enough, or amber you haven't quite got enough, or I think there's a color if you haven't got any. And basically, as you make deliveries to and from your construction site, all these things automatically update. So you don't need to be taking screenshots. You don't need to be jotting down numbers in spreadsheets or on lists. It does it all for you. It's fantastic. And as soon as I get my old PC back, I will absolutely be installing this because I'm just sick of going back to the Galaxy map and finding what else I need and doing maths in my head or scribbling things down on bits of paper. And this just does it all for you. It looks terrific. So anyway, we'll include a link in the video to this, in the show notes to this tutorial. And the app itself is called SRV Survey. Right, item 6. I may have mentioned this on last week's show, can't remember. But there are some very cool system colonization features coming to ED Copilot. They're currently sort of supporter only, but they'll go on wider release eventually. But basically, they let you in your own system where you've colonized. They also let you set up some additional content which other people who are running ED Copilot will get to see and hear. So you can create a system greeting message, which people will get when they enter the system. You can enter lines of dialogue, which will be system broadcasts, which will be space chatter that you hear when you're flying around the system in Super Cruise, like adverts or announcements specific to your stations. You can have station facts, which will be displayed on a fact screen when you land at a station with custom text and an image telling users about that station. There are greetings when you land at stations, and there's just general background chatter. So you can populate your system with all sorts of lovely dialogue. There's obviously a warning about bad language and innuendo and hate speech and all of that jazz, and it's basically a one strike and out. So if you do anything like that, then you'll be banned from running ED Copilot. So please don't
This
do
is
that.
given its language and the things it says to you.
Yeah. So basically, you get to preview it and author this text until you're happy with it, and then you can publish it. And anyone else who's running ED Copilot who turns up in your system will start hearing
Yeah, but I'm
all
thinking
your.
some of the comments that ED Copilot talks to you are quite sweary, aren't they?
Yeah, so basically, a lot of that stuff is customizable. So things like swearing, things like
how much it flirts with you, which is
I believe
really
references to
disturbing.
drink and drugs, and maybe
Yeah.
even references to being a meat eater. I can't remember, but there's a whole bunch of flags that you can turn on and off. And the idea is that when you write your system colonization customization text, you tag the things that are sweary.
Okay.
So if you are happy to hear swearing from ED Copilot and somebody's written a slightly sweary description of their system, then you'll hear that version.
Okay, so if I have a system saying "fuck off, you wankers,"
yeah,
as long as I tag it up as rude, that's okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Gotcha.
I believe so. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. And when I've got my PC back, and I can run ED Copilot again, I'm going to really go for this and have my system full of all sorts of text, because I really like the idea. And I do have some kind of lore around some of the stations and things I've built and named, so it would be nice to describe some of the history and stories around what those are, why I've named them, what I've named them. So yeah, should be good. I'm looking forward to this. Nice idea. Right, next, where are we? Oh, yes, I mentioned last week just about award, which it turns out I'd misread the rules, and that's the sort of My Elite Dangerous thing, and there's will be coming out soon. But there's another quite big prize money contest, which is a synchronized SRV stunt video. So the idea is a bunch of you get together and make a synchronized stunt video, and there really hadn't been any entries for that, and they've extended its deadline by another 40 days. And I can see a few things appearing, and I'm really hoping, again, if I get my PC back, to try and make something for this now. But there's a one-off $100 prize for the first place in that one, so it's another good one. If you've got some mates and you want to go larking around with SRVs, then go make a video and you might win some decent money. Right, nearly at the end. Buckyball race results. The race is over as of Monday midnight. Race was in two classes. Regulation class, it was the old Regulation Cobra with an SCO frameshift drive, and the Unlimited class. We had 15 entries in Unlimited and 13 in Regulation. It's one of those races, I think the average time in Regulation was about 15 minutes and maybe 14 minutes in Unlimited. So it was really short. So it was really moreish, and people were like, I'll just do one more run and one more run. And because of the whole thing where you specify what time you're going to get and then do your run, there was a lot of sort of initial overestimating and then taking big penalties, and then inevitably people underestimating and not being able to hit the time that they'd set themselves. And so I think people really enjoyed it on the whole. I had a couple of goes myself, but mostly just judging. Anyway, let's do the top 5 in each class in reverse order. So in a Regulation class, from 5 down to 1, we have Osric, then Tobias von Brandt, Sulu in 3rd place, Kevin the Stabber in 2nd place, and Skur in 1st place. Skur's time of 13 minutes 28 seconds, which is quite extraordinary.
Wait, what? Say that again.
13 minutes 28. Skur
Holy
managed to do
shit,
it
man.
in a Regulation Cobra, which is quite something.
I was excited to get sub 19.
Yeah. And then over in Unlimited, top 5 in reverse order, we've got Tobias von Brandt 5th, me in 4th in a Mandalay. Oh, Tobias was in a Sidewinder. Sidewinder was quite popular. We had a whole block of 4 people all doing Unlimited and Sidewinders this time. I took out the Mandalay and came 4th. In 3rd place, we had Commander Alot in an Imperial Courier. In 2nd place, Darplata 94 in a Mandalay. And in 1st place, Shay Blackwood in the Imperial Clipper. And Shay managed to whiz round Unlimited in 12 minutes and 30, which is equally sensational.
Nonsense is what it is.
Absolute. And last of all, Homburger has written another really, really beautiful blog post combining of all things this race and a bunch of stuff about Pluto, including a phenomena called Pluto time. I think it's his best yet. His writing just gets better and better and better, and this is such a beautiful read. It's fantastic. So yeah, really recommend giving Homburger's blog Pluto Time a read. And that's it.
Excellent. So if you have a community event that's taking place soon and you'd like us to talk about it, shout about it across the airwaves, tweet the crew at Lave Radio or email us at info@laveradio.com, or you can even blue sky us. So yeah, there's all 3 of them. So, in-game events, what's been happening this week? Well, on the 3rd of April, it seems that Power Play got a little bit out of hand, and I think it fired off a full CG. We have a CG where Denton Petraeus is up against Archer in Chi Eridani. And yes, hand in your combat bonds, because these 2 Federal and Imperials are really going at it. And I think at the moment, just having a quick look, it does seem that Archer's forces are winning at this present moment in time. We've got about another day and a half to go. But it was nice to see a CG that seemed to spawn out of what's been happening with Power Play. Anybody taking part, or is it a little bit out of your way?
No.
Wow, tumbleweed.
No, I haven't. I mean, I was excited for people to have a combat CG. But it wasn't a it wasn't like the paint. There's some paint jobs, isn't there? There's a I think you get like a courier paint job, maybe. I know there's a Federal assault ship paint job, and then there was another paint job that you can get if you fight the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. I mean, I must admit, if this hadn't have happened this particular week, I probably would have been in up to my elbows in this, just because I'll probably be fighting for the losing side. But yeah, so yeah, that's ongoing, which is nice. And of course, then
How long does it run for? Sorry.
According to this, it's going to run out. Just quickly, we've got 1 day, 11 hours left.
Ah, right, okay.
So they're not. Both of them have passed tier 1, so they've both technically succeeded. So the rewards are going to happen. But yeah, I remember that it does strike me of. It reminds me of the Lou event. But that was so long ago. I don't know whether they've put in the war zones and stuff that was there for that. But yeah.
It's kind of weird timing, isn't it?
Yeah. Although you might notice something when we actually hit the Power Play.
I noticed something last week as well. It's all good.
Yeah. But yeah, it seemed to be a very strange one to pair up these 2, because I would have expected something else, which we'll talk about in just a second. So, I guess the Power Play rankings. In 12th place, we have Torval, and she is up 4 systems to 464. In 11th, we have Winters, who has gained a system up to 517. At 10, we have Delaney, who has gained a massive 6 systems to take him up to 630. Kane has gained another 2 systems up to 649. And in 8th place, Petraeus has gained 1 system, and he's up to 652. Ooh, we're getting close to maybe a place swap there. In 7th, we have Antal, who's gained 5 systems to 716. Archer has gained a massive 10 systems this week, up to 757. In 5th, we've got Lee Yong-Ru, up 5 systems to 834. And in 4th place, we have Grom, up a system to 1027. In 3rd place, we have Emperor Orissa, who has still got the most strongholds, but she's up 6 systems to 1,347. And we have, as usual, at 2nd place, Princess Aisling Duval, up 2 places to 1,419. But yet again, Mahan pulls even further ahead at 1,449 with 3 extra systems. So that's your power play standings this week. So yes, you Kane supporters, I think you're going to catch Petraeus next week.
That's wild.
At last.
That's wild. Something is going to happen. Everybody calm down.
Yeah, I mean, I would understand it if the CG had Petraeus and Kane involved, but obviously they've gone for Archer and Petraeus as well. But yeah, I suppose that is a very important federal system that they've got to try and defend. Yeah, I mean, this is one of these things where you've got sort of the superpowers, and then you've got your power play underneath, which is the hidden war, and then or hidden conflict, and then you've got your factions underneath that, which influence all the others. So yeah, it's getting complicated in my head.
Yeah, if it's a tie, can we get the leaders of the
Arm wrestle.
Discord servers to do a best of 3 PvP match or something?
Oh, good lord.
Oh.
Leaders of Discord servers. Don't make them think that they... Oh, no, shut up, Claire.
Well, I mean, I would obviously, what I'd prefer is that Kane and Petraeus themselves came out in PvP, but I have a hunch they don't exist.
No, we want Kane and Petraeus.
Yeah, we want
come
Kane and
out and have
Petraeus
an
because
arm
that's
wrestle.
what happens. Arm wrestle. Actual arm wrestle. I
Everyone
literally...
sit in the bar having an arm wrestle, because we all know the show is not going to have a drink.
Get paid actors to do it. There's lots of actors looking for work right now.
Oh no. Well, at least it's not mud wrestling, so yeah, leave that alone. Okay, so I guess that leaves us with that time of the week again.
Store alert! In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your
Right. Okay. Well, there's quite a lot in this store alert. 1, 2, 3, quite a lot. So first off, we have the new Cobra Mark V ship kit. It's got pop-up headlights and comes with 4 paint jobs. I think it's worth it for the pop-up headlights.
Love the lights. Love
It's
the lights.
great. It's so good.
It makes me feel like a TR7.
It's so unnecessary because nobody, apart from Nobody notices these things apart from the first time when you go out in the camera suite and have a look. But it's beautiful.
I don't know. You can be stood outside it and clap, and the lights will come up.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Mhm.
I like that. That is true. Good one.
Right. Yes. And then it seems that Frontier got very obsessed with the lantern light because they've now given them their own bobblehead.
It's amazing. I've already bought it. I just loved it so much. I've already bought it.
I have to. I've done exactly the same.
Yeah, I saw
Oh.
it on the stream. Yeah, I know. I do hate these kind of FOMO marketing tactics, but I couldn't resist it.
Yeah,
yeah. Go on, Ben.
So
I feel very dirty the fact that they got me.
Yeah, same.
So the Lave Lane did know that something was coming, that they were going to do something for it to honor it in game. There was speculation that it was just going to be like a decal or something for it. The fact that it's a bobblehead is pretty cool, pretty fun.
I hope that they gave one to Lave Lane.
Can you imagine if they didn't?
It would be a dick move, but have we had confirmation that they did?
Can only imagine so.
Is it the only bobblehead that's animated outside of its bobbling?
No, the planets, all of those rotate, albeit a lot slower.
Okay.
But every single planet rotates.
I've got the wireframe Cobra, and it's also animated.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they rotate.
I'm pretty sure the Coriolis is animated too. Actually,
Yeah, any of the wireframed ones do as well.
Yeah, I'm sure she rotates. I will go and check.
This is super fast though, which is obviously entirely appropriate, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very fast.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you've highlighted, it's got FOMO because it's only available for 1 month, which is
yeah.
Oh well. But I think it was still nice that they put it in.
I think it's lovely they put it in. I think one of the Chris's, made a very good point about it being. Will it still be relevant in a year's time? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, but also we've all got Thargoid bobbleheads, and by the rate that
that is true,
certain groups are clearing the Pleiades, that's going to be irrelevant pretty soon as well. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the next up is obviously, because we have a new ship out, we have the skins that go with it. So yeah, we've got golden, chromed, obscura ruba, obscura. Oh, you know what?
Do you want me to take it? Do you want me to take this?
You go for this before really trip it up.
Okay, we have Obscura Ruba, which is black with red wings and a white stripe. Obscura Fulvus, which is black with yellow wings and a white stripe. Obscura Purpurus, which is black with purple wings and a white stripe. Obscura Lividus, which is black with blue wings and a white stripe. Imperial Caeruleus, I think that's no, it isn't. I don't know what that one is. And Imperial Candidus. Caeruleus, yeah. Arcus red, Arcus pink, Praetor yellow, and Praetor grey.
Yes. I'm afraid to ask this. Does any of these actually take your fancy?
You can only polish a turd.
On the assumption I would buy the ship and I would be regularly running the ship, I did quite like the black and red wings, the rubber one.
Before listening to tonight's show, I was going to, without a shadow of a doubt, buy chrome skin, go on my lovely Corsair, and then roll it down the side of a mountain and video it. I might still do that, but maybe I won't spend any money on the paint job, and I might leave it at the bottom of the crater.
Oh God, we are so bad.
I like the pink. I do like the pink, but it's still on a Corsair. And I also like there's like a I'm just going to say it. There's a Vicarian blue and silver one, which is like blue, silver, and like blue, white, and black. I really like that one as well. But again, you can throw as much glitter on a turd as you like in it, but it will still be a turd.
The one thing that I would do, and this is probably going to get me get it booed at, but I do actually like the ship kit.
I mean, sure.
Plus, it
yes,
gets rid of
right.
the leak.
I wouldn't get rid of the peak, but I really like the spoiler that goes across the back.
Yeah, I mean, I like wings for my wings.
Yeah, the thing is, and I'm going back to the 70s here. Remember that if you actually put a certain set of tails on the back and the no beak, it does very much remind me of the ship from Battle of the Planets.
Yeah.
And I do wish they got the right skin for that. For that,
Yeah, you need the Lavecom skin for that, basically.
Well, it's red and blue for that one. And
Okay, I was thinking the fiery version.
Oh yeah, for the fiery version, you're quite right. But at that, I probably would. But after we've given it such a drubbing earlier, it's yeah.
I mean, it depends whether if it's a regular mission, if it turns into a ship that you do use, like we all used the Python.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't the best in slot, but we all.
I did my time, Ben. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. You can't make me.
Oh dear.
But other people might want to.
Well, that's on them.
Yeah, I know they get a Python with a built-in SCO drive.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Looking at the slideshow of paint jobs, I still really like the design of the ship, the look of it. I don't care what anyone thinks. I really like it.
I'm with you, Alec. I actually quite like how she looks.
I like it with the ship kit, but without the it's the beak that I had trouble with.
I like the beak. I have no issues with the beak.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking it looks like it's a ship they can use to get stones out of horses' hooves. It's just I'm sorry.
It's
but
a bird of prey beak. It's fantastic.
Oh, but like I said, once I put it in the ship kit, I actually liked it when it was in the ship kit. But yeah, right. I guess we'll hand over to Psychic for the question of the week.
Or we could run some ads very quickly if we have some ads. That might be a nice idea.
Yeah. Everybody take a breath.
Hey Commanders, this is Mick from Crazy Mick's Reptile Emporium and Warehouse. Due to a hysterical ordering mishap and not reading the fine print, I'm currently in possession of over 10,000 snakes, many of which are deadly, so everything must go. We have anacondas, asps, cobras, diamondbacks, fodlans, keelback, crates, mambas, pythons, sidewinders and vipers, none of which are capable of spaceflight without being strapped to a rocket. Need a pet for your cockpit? Buy a snake. Need to scare your mother-in-law and give her a heart attack for the insurance money? Buy a snake. Need to fill a beluga full of snakes to assassinate a witness on their way to a Federation courthouse? Buy many snakes. Bulk discounts are available at Crazy Mick's Reptile Emporium and Warehouse. You can find us in the Lave Business Directory or visit us at the former site of Sensible Michael's Shipyard and Outfitting Warehouse. Will somebody get these mother snakes out of my mother warehouse?
Oi, how you doing, my brother? So you run some data and you left your little sidey and you're starting to think about maybe a ship that can punch a little bit harder. Well, the Keelback, the one with the little flappy wings, is just what the doctor ordered. It is multi-crew enabled and is the smallest ship with a fighter bay, so you can point and they will do your bidding. Ha! It's got 3 utility mounts, 2 small and 2 medium hard points, plus a whole batch of compartments. So if you want a bit of fun, grab a Keelback, my son.
Hey there, Commander. Are you tired of transporting bulky containers of water everywhere? Wish there was a lighter, more convenient solution. Introducing dehydrated water. With our groundbreaking technology, we've removed all the excess moisture, leaving you with a compact, easy to transport solution. Our patented, groundbreaking process extracts 100% of the H2O molecules, leaving you with pure, unadulterated nothing. Get yours today. Available in convenient single servings, family size packets, and for a limited time only, the Jumbo Empty Jug Edition. Buy it now from your nearest Starport. And now, introducing our sparkling variety with our new patented glitter sachets. Dehydrated water, the future of hydration. Warning, must add water to activate. Do not attempt to consume dry.
Right, and welcome back. First off, Psych It.
Oh, yeah, I should say, Jeannie Van Zyl, who is the voice of Crazy Mick and the Crazy Mick ads, he's the mad lad has named his station Crazy Mix, the station that he's gone. So you can actually go and visit Crazy Mix in game now. That was all I was saying. Which I think is just brilliant. It's just like insane, and I love it. Thank you, Jeannie. Yeah, hi, question of the week. Every Sunday around sort of 2 p.m, we have we on our Twitter and our Blue Sky and in our Discord, we do the question of the week. And this one was based on something we were talking about last week, where we were talking about, oh, what are you like little niggles that you have? Because we believe it or not, we went a little bit off topic last week. So we went to I thought, oh, it might be nice to see what other people would think, and what one thing would you change in Elite Dangerous to make it closer to your perfect game, and why? And our first response is from Girl Scout 88, who says, put cookies in my trade port. Put cookies in my trade port as a rare commodity. Come on, FDev, you're missing a meme.
Brilliant.
Definitely
Brilliant.
living up to the name there. So
100%.
Zulu Romeo is saying they want to add dogs, because all the best games have dogs and let you pet the dogs.
No notes.
No notes.
And cats. That's me saying no cats, not Zulu. Bad Micah says ProcGen station interiors, faction and contacts offices, ship showrooms, engineering workshops, Odyssey materials, empty abandoned areas, running firefights with scavengers, long access tunnels with SRVs to drive, gardens, more. Assets for all this are all there.
Yeah, but they might be low res gardens as well.
Yeah.
Gardens are kind of low res
Actually,
if you're looking through those things.
they are. It's true. They look lovely from a spaceship when you're landing into dock. But yeah, if you go down to those little garden areas, they wouldn't stand up to on-foot scrutiny.
People were like, what is this mobile game?
Alata79. Quality of life fixes such as adding a button to the fleet carrier menu, fill hold to transfer cargo from your ship to for each cargo item, rather than sitting there holding a button. Such a time sink.
Yep. 100%. 100% agree. That's one of mine right up there.
Oh, these people with fleet carriers. Gee.
Oh. Pixel Poppy says, update the damn NPC lines in the comms channel. That 1% of cruise liners message makes me mad at this point and totally breaks my immersion. It has been the same for 10 years.
Yeah, forgotten your wedding vows as well.
I think I'm literally blind to. I think I just don't see it anymore.
Ben?
Fluff's sake, I'm on mute again, aren't I?
Yep.
Voyager NL saying, Captain Obvious answer. Planetary landings on Earth-like planets with regular atmospheres. Possible life. Planets, trees, wildlife, and aquatic possibilities. Out-of-the-box thoughts. Possibility to turn off Thargoid encounters in solo play. Call it the xenophobic option.
It's all right. There's a group of commanders who are working on it to being it turned off for everyone soon, so don't worry about it.
Commander Slacker says quite simply, space pets. That's 2 for space pets.
Heard, taken on board. We'll submit that feedback to Frontier for you.
Well, I've got Commander Dirk Hatch here. The one thing I'd change, the players who constantly complain about what the game isn't instead of having fun playing the game for what it is.
You can't do that though, my guy.
No, I mean, that's the forum dead then.
Yeah. Yeah, where would we go? To social media? Okay.
Reddit, that's it, all gone.
The Burr Pit says, I'm not sure this is one thing, already breaking the rules, god damn it, but I'd ungamify on-foot conflict zones, lose the weird arbitrary pole capture thing, and make it feel more in-universe, much more like a base assault by an exterior force, and less like a Battlefield 1942 map. Also, let me go prone and snipe with a railgun or laser, thanks. He has been saying that since his flight assist interview.
Yeah.
Good points, though.
Yeah, good points.
Yeah.
So Epicris is wanting some ship interiors because he wants to walk around inside of his ship. Sorry, someone's had to say it.
He was like the first answer as well, and I was big mad at him.
Don't start the ship interiors thing rolling again. Right. Beetle Jude says, I think Psychic was right about the need for ground-based activity options. I'd like an SHV, a surface haulage vehicle, a truck that transports colonists or ores to ground settlements and mining depots. I want surface activities that aren't combat. I like the idea of the SRV with bioscanners a lot. I think that a little fast ship would be fun, the Mamba Sport or something. 900 boost and the hull integrity of a fortune cookie. I also want to see colonization reflected in-game as an option with a nice big whale ship. Fill the new systems. Move the dispossessed Tharg refugees into new systems. Last thing, I want to see more nuance to trade, quality of goods, and perishability, perhaps. I would love them to remodel the look of the stars, the brown dwarfs, black holes, and comets. And finally, I want to fly inside a gas giant planet. I don't think that's much to ask for.
I mean, how hard can it be?
How hard? This is how hard can it be? The question of the week, basically.
I'm just rereading the question. What one thing would you change?
Yeah. People were a bit lax with the rules.
Well, I have Tokuso. Guardian AI emerges. Plus, sneakily make black holes actually dangerous. Fleet
Amen. Preach it, brother.
Fleet carriers, working toilets, and dental hygiene in ships with a dentist chair area.
What was that for the British ships?
100%. Only for the British ships. That's how that works, right? Nicey says more on-foot station content than just the concourse that are on the shipyard menu. That one with all the ships. Add that. Add a room for each contact. If I want to pay off a fine, let me walk into the admin room. Nicey, no! Don't make the game longer than it is.
Please, God, yes.
Yeah, but if they do that, you'll do it once and then you'll go back to do it on your screen.
That's fine.
Okay.
And breathe.
Oh, fuck off.
Ben, come on.
Profane Pagan is saying something that I'll read when I can open my eyes again. Like many other people. I'm sorry.
Ben's gone. Ben's lost
Like
laugh
many
and laughing.
Oh, no.
Like many other people, I have a plethora of things I would like to expand the game with. Like, only one thing, apparently, but anyway. But strictly speaking about changes, I don't want to overhaul the core of the game. However, there is one thing I would love to change. The ebbing, Galnet news, and lack of narrative around power play. I firmly believe that power players should receive strong characterization via their interaction of media, Galnet news, and community and narrative events. They need personality. Live events and power play is an effective vehicle to express history as it plows through our time in our virtual universe. I love that idea, Profane Pagan.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually, that we only really have portraits to go on. I don't really know who these leaders are, and if we had more story about them, I might care more. Yeah, interesting. I have Witch Space. who says, more of the mysteries, and once a mystery has been solved, better vectors in-game to signpost them to the majority. The wonder of breaking down beacons, of exploring the Guardian graveyards and ruins, the INRA bases, the megaship hulks. So good. For me, as both an ED and SC player, beats out feet. For me, as both an ED and SC player, beats out feet. Colin?
Oh, right. Okay. Evil Flash. Magic Wand. I'd like to introduce substantial variation in planetary surfaces, rivers, weather, and foliage, way more than the current. Actually possible? Question mark. I think On Foot is very underutilized. Small procedural story-based missions are a definite possibility, like Far Cry, for example. Right.
Possibility like Far Cry. No, I'm here. Possibility like Far Cry. What do you mean?
Well,
I've played Far Cry.
Oh, have you? Do they have sort of little
procedural story-based missions?
Yeah, because I didn't think it had that.
It feels like just like I'm using 3 to like maybe 5 as a thing. Yeah, 3 to 5, and that is mostly like linear stories. I suppose they're in sort of individual, kind of a little bit individually chaptery. I don't know.
Not loads of little side quests. I don't think I've played many of the Far Cry games.
There's clearing out that's it's by the by. Play Far Cry 3. It's fucking brilliant. Yeah, it's the story's kind of linear. I can't think. You're just making me want to play Far Cry 3 again to make sure that that's the case. Anyway, sorry. Julius says, first of all, kudos to the third-party apps and websites for the game, but ideally we would not need to rely on them. Realistically, an API that allows third-party tools to display information on a detailed ship screen. Additionally, also offers a way to integrate with the in-game map.
Interesting. I was trying to think of an answer to this question myself, and that was one of the things I came up with, was maybe allowing third-party apps to be seamlessly integrated into the game.
Silas Rezzi's saying, being able to contract players to my ship, my commodities, modules, and ships. Okay? Being able to contract players to my ship, my commodities, modules, and ships.
No.
And a market. Yeah,
that's not what it says. It's not what it says. It's being able to contract players to ship my commodities, modules, and ships. So other people moving stuff.
Oh, so you want other people to move stuff for you? Gotcha. Yeah, okay. And a marketplace where commanders can buy and sell in-game items directly with other commanders. I would call it the network expansion.
Call it the Vanguard expansion if I was being a betting man, but you know.
Oh, wasn't there a website, ETWTRB, that did exactly that? Oh, I think there was, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Cronenberg. Market economies. Make it more like the X universe, where shipping an item from A to B produces a secondary item at B, and meaning that trading becomes a real thing. I wonder if that sort of thing would just get lost in the numbers of the BGS.
Probably.
Because I was sort of thinking, I don't know for sure that doesn't happen already, but it's almost impossible to tell. Because
yeah, it could. Well, I've just seen the time, so we're going to have to move on from there. And Finn McRaven, aside from the interiors / atmospheres, some kind of campaign or expedition that would make me feel that I'd impacted the galaxy in some meaningful way. One that took me to places I'd never seen and let me work alongside other commanders doing a similar thing, filling that new mission types.
I love that. Ian Watson says, I just want to see the crew member I hired sitting in my darn ship. We have the technology already in Apex. I just want to feel less lonely. Ian!
Bumpus is wanting no network single player mode, like versions 1, 2, and 3.
Somebody had to say it.
Yeah. It's like ship interiors.
Offline mode.
That's the two things, isn't it?
Yeah. Agent John 2 says more on-foot unit types to differentiate factions. Maybe elite units for each superpower and a handful of others for each. Saw a good post on the subreddit about this recently. Riot shields and squad tactics are fed, bubble shields and energy weapons for Imp, and robotics for Alliance. Sounds cool.
Fair enough. I have Judd Crandall, Thick Atmos.
Same to you, mate.
Spike 114 says remove interstellar bounties in general, or at least make it so that joining an installation defense scenario prevents me from getting a bounty when the ship I'm shooting at causes one stray bullet to hit the invincible building by using chaff. And also, don't penalize me in those scenarios for engaging that one allied NPC flagged as an enemy ship by accident because they shot the building too. That guy shot me first. Why am I in trouble for defending myself now? Get out of here with that crap.
Damn right again.
We've all been there.
We've all been there.
Amazing.
Okay, I'm going to have to read this. I do not agree. Clumsy Footsteps is saying, greater fleet carrier jumps. Nothing too mad. Maybe 2,000 light years or so.
Oh, make it cost a lot, though. Make it cost your whole tritium tank.
And have a 6-month cooldown. Chebsville says drinking in the bar. Also, dancing girls and boys. Dancing girls and boys, I guess, to hire for entertainment in the bar as well. Being a bit more realistic, a way to get higher clearance in an Odyssey settlement other than cloning other IDs. If I go to a tourist settlement, can I pay to get a room or something like that?
No, but you can rent it by the hour.
See above, read dancing girls, boys, and drinking in the bar. Can I pay to get a room or something like that? Taking on a research delivery, it'd be nice to get a tour of the labs I've just helped. It would help with the immersion at some places.
I got Commander Schnales. I like the game pretty much as it is, so one thing is hard. One random thing I've always fancied is the idea is an additional SRV, but this one is larger with a passenger cabin on the back for the ground and possibly even for a foot passenger sightseeing missions on planetary surfaces.
I'd be up for SRV sightseeing.
Agreed.
Never thought of that one. Go on. Sorry.
Homburger 666 says just a tiny thing, a tiny do it all in a weekend sort of thing, a perfect how hard can it be thing. More atmospheres. Maybe not Earth-likes. I know what kind of complexity that would need, or even high-pressure atmospheres, and definitely not gas giants either. But waves hand arbitrarily in the air. Say small cold worlds on the outer edges of their systems, with atmospheres up to just a few % of Earth's, with all the glaciation, cryovolcanism, convection sublimation plains and tholins, and bugger it, Pluto. I want to be able to land on Pluto. There, I said it.
Fantastic. See aforementioned blog for
100%.
Loki Di Pietro is also wanting another 500 light years to the carrier jump range. Also, if I may be so bold to break the rule of just one thing, another person, I would like to give a big, wholehearted, shouty out agreement to Psychit's Type 21, or maybe even the Lynx bulk carrier. That's an add more than a change, but I want it.
Type 21 for the win.
Type 21, you know it.
The Jinx effect says more options to click on when I call for an elevator. Amen. Yes, please. I agree with this. On a station, maybe I want to go to the concourse, or maybe I want to visit someone on the accommodation levels. What if I want to go to the slums and walk along a grimy corridor to find a shady character selling and buying black market goods? Maybe I can buy myself something that'll get me a nice buff in combat or sneaking around settlements, or some dodgy dealer in aftermarket modifications. What if I go to the posh district and burgle someone's priced art that I can then fence? This could potentially bring a host of new mission types and mission givers. Or maybe I'm the system architect and I've got my own office on the station. Plus, think of the views you can get from the towers on planetary ports. What? That is one thing. It's not my fault that more places for the lifts to go comes with a lot of supplementary stuff.
This is what we originally. Well, this is certainly what I originally thought Odyssey was going to give us. Not just an airport, sort of, essentially.
But you want your own flat in the station.
I think it makes sense. It does make sense for it to. I think when we were originally told that we were going to be able to walk outside of our spaceships and go and visit concourses, I don't think there was anyone who thought it would just be one room.
Yeah. Even one
When
room
he's-
with shops in it.
Yeah. When he said this about the lift going to more places, the one thing I thought I want, which he didn't mention, was outside. I'd quite like it if the concourse
Oh
lift
God, yes! I
let
want
me
to
go
and walk in
outside.
Yeah, let me go and meet that yellow van.
Get run over by that yellow van. We've got Stick Typhoon. Easy. I'd extend the shelf life of a mission beyond 24 hours up to 7 days at least. I play multiple days per week, but not usually in consecutive days. So if I don't finish my missions each night, then I automatically get abandoned. Extra. How many people have trouble counting to one?
We are breaking the rules left, right, and centre. Eh?
By the way, I can't wait to get my hands on a pair of Switch 2 Joy-Cons to play around in Elite with Steam input. I love playing with the unconventional input methods. Oh, show off.
I can barely use a HOTAS, my guy. Zebedelia says docking with derelict ships for on-foot salvage / piracy. Also with the change of on-foot Thargoids or scavengers / other pirates to spawn. I just want to run away screaming back to my ship while lobbing grenades behind me. Also new guns, like I don't know, a flamethrower.
Wow.
Hey man. Never go wrong with the flamethrower. The Stig's cousin is wanting extra large ships would be great. Like the aforementioned Type 21.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Or an exploration vessel that can launch probes at anybody without needing to move. And a ship launched shuttle that you can that can take you to planets, etc. I think there could be a better way of augmenting the gameplay loops that we already have, like an extra large mining ship that can mine multiple rocks at once. See, that would be awesome multiplayer gameplay, like 3 or 4 of you sitting in there zapping up the rocks. I like that.
An exploration vessel that launches probes at a body and it has a ship-launched shuttle. Deep wants the Normandy.
Everybody wants the Normandy, Colin. I mean, and
There
by
is a
everybody,
problem with
I
this?
mean me.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
It's at least slightly bigger than an anaconda.
Give me the fucking Normandy, give me the Normandy, give me the Normandy. Give me the SR2 though, not the SR1.
Yeah.
If we're getting the Normandy, I want the big one.
Yeah, we need to have the air vents sounding right, don't we?
Oh yeah.
Well,
As long as Joker can fly it.
Some Joker will. Anyway, that was a
That was
lot.
quite good for you, Colin.
Right, shout outs. Hang on. Has anybody got any other business?
I've got something I want to say. It's going to take 20 minutes. Is everyone all right just to sit where we do? I've not got anything. Let's go for it.
20 seconds maybe, but
no.
Shout outs. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio. It broadcasts on Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv, Hutton Orbital Truckers. Or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. And we're also giving the shout outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts. So you've got the Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well. We have the wonderful Loose Screws, who do just Elite Dangerous. And also, if you speak French,
I just let the funky music do the talking.
Well, there is the wonderful Elite Dangerous podcast, who also do these fantastic missions as well. So, following this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest, as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And thanks to everyone who's chipped in the Twitch chat and the in-game commanders that have been chasing Chris around the concourse. Yeah, it seemed like there's some kind of sped-up Benny Hill movie in the time.
It needs that sound behind it, doesn't it? Thanks to Commander Ulrich Octavius, Epicris, Rocky Star, Habuki, Tango Tan, Tokoso, Jeannie Van Ziel, Soka42, and Happy Sack.
Excellent. And also, special thank goes to the aforementioned Commander Tokuso, JN Trax, and Ellen Stroud, who have all created music that we use in this show. So that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can find all the contact links in the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you've got any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Ben.
Good night, Colin.
Thanks to Claire.
Cheers.
Thanks to Alec.
Thanks, Colin. Night all.
And special thanks goes to our tech specialist, the Chris Mark IV.
You're welcome.
So until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted into them. You need a safe word.
Space can be loaded.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 8th of April 3311. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, Princess Aisling acquires a new Gutamaya Corsair. Shadow President Archer is offering 40,000 merits to his agents if they win a war. And the spinning station Lantern Light is commemorated in a very small way.
Princess Aisling Duval has announced that she'll be adding the new Gutamaya Corsair to her personal fleet. As a social influencer, Aisling will have received her Corsair for free. For the rest of us, we have the choice of buying now for ARCs or waiting until probably August to buy the ship for credits.
Priced at 33,000 ARCs for the pre-built model with a paint job, some extra wing bits and a vanity cover for the controversial conch, and at a rather more modest 16,250 ARCs for the basic build with the basic blue and white livery and the curved Predator's beak proudly left on show. The Corsair is Imperial shipbuilder Gutamaya's first ship to be built with supercruise overcharge in mind, and its first ship that doesn't require an Imperial Navy rank.
The Corsair flies smoothly in supercruise overcharge, cool and steady. Perhaps too steady for some, as the 4,500 times the speed of light maximum velocity is slower even than the Mandalay, and it guzzles fuel far more quickly.
The apparent hard cap of 599 metres per second in normal flight is a strange design decision. The engines seem capable of far more, and in fact you can still reach 599 metres per second if you fit smaller, size 6 engines. For decent handling, engineering the thrusters and power distributor is essential, but with the Professor Palin magic applied, the ship flies beautifully. The power plant seems ridiculously oversized for even the most power-hungry builds.
It will be interesting to see what the early access owners of the Corsair make of it. It's an all-rounder, and it won't beat the best in class at any task except possibly for mining, where the tightly converged hardpoints, the fast manoeuvring, and the decent cargo capacity seem to give it a close to ideal specification. With its oversized core internals, it's an easy ship to build to suit whatever task you may have in mind.
There's already a selection of paint packs available for the Corsair, including the highly desirable gold and chrome. Princess Aisling's complimentary Corsair is, however, reported to be sporting the delightful Arcus Pink.
The conflict in Chi Eridani between the imperial interloper Senator Denton Petraeus and the leader of the Republican Party, Jerome Archer, seems to be going the Federation's way. With only 2 days left, commanders not already signed up to Powerplay have an option to earn easy money and get a massive boost if they pledge to Archer, sign up to defend the Chi Eridani system, and destroy at least one enemy ship in a combat zone. There's at least 76 million credits and 40,000 merits on offer to everyone pledged to Archer who takes part to drive Senator Petraeus out, so you could be catapulted straight up to rank 8. Hand in your combat bonds at Steve Masters Station. Ignore the signs that ask for bounty vouchers.
Lantern Light, the impossible spinning station, has been stabilised. The starport, constructed around a pulsar in the Lalande 25224 system, was deployed very close to the neutron star, which put it in an uncontrollable and extremely violent spin, making docking impossible and leaving the station only intermittently survivable. A new gyroscopic tether installed this morning has left the Ocellus stable. Other than the unusual backdrop of the neutron star that now appears to be orbiting the station every minute or two, the station is now completely normal. Engaging your docking computer no longer ends with a call to the rescue rangers. To commemorate the spinning station's former state, the Pilots Federation has released a limited edition bobblehead, available for only 30 days. The bobblehead will remind pilots of the dizzying spin of Lantern Light. Lantern Light's companion outpost, Candlelight, and the Hutton Truckers' Palmer Gateway in the Dabby Minor system have already been stabilised. These outposts, one orbiting a neutron star and the other orbiting a black hole, are no longer completing each orbit in a single second. They're now taking a whole minute to orbit, which allows time to admire the cavalcade of stars scrolling past. These stations are doing what stations are supposed to. There are almost certainly further edge cases yet to be discovered. The Pilots Federation stands ready to come to the rescue.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.